Hello and welcome to the Pit Stop Podcast, presented by the New York Sports Show, the fastest podcast here on YouTube. I'm Dominic Konowski, and joining us on the line, we have NASCAR Camping World Truck Series driver Armani Williams, who drives for the Wayne Brothers Racing Team. Armani, hello and welcome to the New York Sports Show.
Thank you, Dominic. It's an honor to be here.
It's an honor to have you on, Armani. Now, you have been in racing essentially your whole life, both as a fan and as a driver. But what got you into racing originally?
Yeah, it just all started when I was a young kid for me. I loved cars. I would always have a collection of Hot Wheel and Matchbox cars at my house and just play with them on the kitchen table, the floor, whether it was at my mom, my dad's, or my grandparents. It's just so, I just fell in love with cars from the very start, and then I heard about NASCAR, and I thought it was pretty cool that I wanted to see what it was about. And they would play on TV every weekend, and what really fascinated about me was just how fast those cars were going, 180, 109 miles per hour. I thought that was the coolest thing I've ever seen, and so that really got me glued onto NASCAR from the very start. Just my interest, my passion level for NASCAR just went up, and so more times I watched it, the more I thought that, hey, this is something that I wanted to do in life, was to be a professional race car driver. And so I started racing at 8 years old in the go-karting division. Had some really good success there. Then moved on to race mini cups and had 18 wins and 2 championships to go along with it. And moved up into what was called the ARCA Truck Pro Series in 2016. This was when I was starting to get into more of the big horsepower, big weight type cars, and that was a lot of fun. And then after I got through the driver diversity program twice, NASCAR gave me the recognition that I need, and suggested that I race up and move up to NASCAR, but raced in what was called the NASCAR Pinty Series up in Canada. And so you can imagine, having a race outside your country, it just felt like a cool experience. And so I got to race against guys like DJ Kennington and Alex Tagliani, who's a former pole setter for the Indy 500. And so, those are really good race car drivers, and it helped me learn a lot. Just how to race against the pros, how to be fast, how to keep up with them, how to beat them. And so it was a cool experience, but it was just a big learning curve that I needed the most. And so I came back to the United States, still racing in NASCAR, which was then called the NASCAR Can-Am Pro Series, which is now ARCA East, ARCA West. Ran several races in both of those series. And then 2020, I made a couple starts in the ARCA Menard Series, racing at Phoenix Raceway and as well as Michigan International Speedway. And then now a year ago, made my NASCAR Camping World Truck Series debut at Gateway Motorsports Park, even though it's called Worldwide Technology Speedway, but I'll go with Gateway. But now this year, I'm here to make my second start in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series this weekend at Pocono, and really exciting opportunity to get back into the car and on the racetrack.
That whole career, that seems just like a surreal experience in a way. You thought the cars were cool, and now here you are, a race car driver yourself. You're going to be racing at Pocono for the truck series, and you've been through a lot of racing series, as you just mentioned. Now, when it comes to the Camping World Truck Series, how does the feel of the truck, or just overall, compared to other series you have raced in?
Yeah, I would say with these trucks, they're kind of more similar to when I raced back in the ARCA Truck Pro Series. Similar style truck as far as aerodynamics, the way the trucks would maneuver around, things of that nature. With these trucks, they got about the same amount of horsepower that I ran back in the ARCA Truck Pro Series. But I think, unlike the ARCA Truck Pro Series, these trucks have a little more downforce, and so at these tracks like Pocono, where they're really big and drafting and just trying to build momentum is going to be key. And so I say, every time I get in a a truck, I take more of like my experience in the Arca Truck Pro Series and apply it to what I'm doing right now.
That's really cool. Now, when it comes to going into Pocono, what would you say are your goals for that race?
Yeah, so I mean, I think mainly, we want to go into Pocono, for me being like a part-time driver, not really racing a week in and week out, it's very important that I finish every lap from start to finish. It's just you get all the experience, all the seat time in the world, the longer you're out there on the racetrack, and you learn so much that you can take with you the next race. And so that's the main thing. But I mean, I think also just go out there, be aggressive, be competitive, and at the end of the day, if we can come away with a top 20 finish, that'd be really good for everyone at Realm Brothers Racing, me, as well as my partners of MD Exclusive that's going to be on the truck this weekend, along with Visit Mace, Doug Flutie for Foundation for Autism, as well as Ice Coke Technology, all are great partners. Without their support of me and, racing as well, I wouldn't be here. So, I mean, that's really what our goals are set on, and, we're going to go out there and make it happen.
Well, that's really cool. Best of luck to you, and getting a top 20, that would be extremely impressive. Now, Armani, you are an inspiration to so many people. You are the first NASCAR driver to be diagnosed with autism. What is it like to be an inspiration to so many? Here you are with autism, and you're able to live your dream and show other people that you could still live and pursue your dream.
I mean, it certainly means a lot to me. It means a lot to the millions of people, individuals, families, and kids that have been impacted by autism. I mean, I think about how my whole life has been. I feel like I've always faced adversity. I mean, autism is a thing where, there's a lot of uncertainty that goes around it. And, once you have it, you really don't know, like, what you may want to do your entire life. But I would say, it's important that everybody finds joy, happiness in anything that they're passionate about or things that they love to do. I mean, for me, like, cars and racing were the first things that I was passionate about. And, the more I loved it, the more, that I wanted to be a professional race car driver and just prove to everyone in the autism community that, if you have a dream of something that you want to do in life, go for it. As long as you believe in yourself, you stay encouraged, and you do all the hard work, all the things that it takes to get to where you want to be, so that you have an opportunity to be successful and do great things like everybody else in this world. There's many possibilities out there. So, that's what I always want to go out on the track and prove, is to not only that I can show that I have what it takes to be successful and what I love, but also that to the people in the autism community to find something that they can be successful at, and just find that hope and determination.
That is truly inspirational, Armani, and here you are, as I said, living your dream. What is it like to be a NASCAR driver overall?
It's fantastic. I mean, every time I'm out on the racetrack, it's just my happy place. Is where I always like to be. I just have that feeling of that need for speed and just wanting to go out there and go as fast as I possibly can and run as hard as I possibly can. So just the feeling of being a race car driver is the second I get into the race car, strap those belts, put that helmet on, start my engine. It's just, I'm pumped up, ready to go. I'm out there to show the world that, I have what it takes to be out on the racetrack, and that I do belong here. And so, just that feeling of the adrenaline, just that need for speed, and just being around the NASCAR community. Like, there's many drivers that I like to meet, get to know of, as well as, like, crew chiefs of some teams, or, business people that show up to the racetrack week in and week out. It's just very important to have those relationships, because those will go a long way into helping you stay in this type of career. And so, I just enjoy being around the NASCAR community, and I just enjoy going out there in the racetrack and going fast.
And I think that's the biggest thing, you got to enjoy what you're doing, and here you are loving it, you were living your dream, 100% enjoying it. Now, when you're not on the racetrack, as you are a part-time driver in the Camping World Truck Series, you use iRacing to help learn, like, tracks that you will be racing at?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And iRacing has been such a great tool for us race car drivers. I mean, like, you think, like, beforehand when we didn't have those things, like, I would go into Pocono with a blind eye because I would just have no idea how to get around the racetrack. I would have a lot of questions to ask, but with iRacing, it just helps you so much in, learning all the variety of tracks that they got on there and all the variety of race vehicles they got over there, because, those are things that happen in the real world, and they give you such a great idea as to how to get around the racetrack, what things you can do, what not to do, what to look out for. And so, all that, I put a lot of time into getting on the iRacing simulator as much as possible. I could be on there like all day, every day, 7 days a week, just trying to keep my mind sharp, keep my driving skills sharp, and just, learn every little bit, every single day, and as soon as I do it in the real world, I'll take everything I learned from the simulator and just try to apply it in the real thing. I mean, it just really helps me prepare myself for what might happen, and like, I'm just very glad we have these iRacing simulators, and, I utilize them as much as I possibly can.
iRacing has come so far, especially in the last several years when it comes to popularity, and so many drivers use it. So it's so cool to hear that you are one of the drivers that do use iRacing, and you get the most out of it. You get a lot of practice out of it, which is awesome. Now, final question before we go. What are your goals for the rest of the 2022 season?
Yes, so, right now, like, we got a few races lined up that, at least before Phoenix, which is the other race that I'm going to be in, Phoenix being the championship weekend in the Camping World Truck Series. I still like to make a few more starts in the Camping World Truck Series beforehand, so, we're still working on some things. We're still eyeing some tracks that we want to be in, and so, that's mainly the goal that I want to do the rest of the Camping World Truck Series season, is to, just get into more races. Like, the more I'm out there, the better I can be, the more I learn, and, that's all it takes. It's just that valuable seat time.
Well, best of luck to you, Armani. With the kind of talent you have, no question, you will definitely be a regular in the Camping World Truck Series very soon. Very, very talented driver, folks, is Armani Williams. Yeah, well, thank you, Armani, folks. Once again, this was NASCAR Camping World Truck Series driver Armani Williams. He will be racing at the upcoming Truck Series race at Pocono. Armani, best of luck, and thank you for coming on the New York Sports Show. It was an honor.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. This was a blast.